You're acting like you're a college dorm kid.
Yeah, and your catty insults towards people online make you seem like a high school mean girl.
Okay.
I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, we all have our things.
But you're
like,
selling to them things that you know aren't good. So
what do you think I'm selling to them?
If you were a 25-year-old,
Candace Owens just ran circles around Destiny, and you could literally see the moment he snapped, struggling to keep up. The man had no leg to stand on, fumbling through contradictions and trying to sound intellectual while getting steamrolled. I mean, this is peak cope, and it's honestly embarrassing to watch him try to dodge reality. Let's immediately jump in where Candace Owens absolutely obliterates Destiny.
I mean, I'm not telling people, like I said, I tell people how I actually live and what I actually believe. And I don't know that you do that. Don't justify women acting like whores.
Well, I don't justify trying to prescribe lifestyles to people.
What?
Don't justify trying to prescribe lifestyles to people.
It's not prescribing a lifestyle.
Of course
it's just,
it is. When somebody said that they would be happy not having kids, you were like, oh, she sounds like a conceited or
That's
something.
not what she said.
That was a bit, yeah, that was the TikTok clip you were responding to.
That was not what she said, and I can tell you exactly what she said.
That she was got to go on
I said there was
vacations
absolutely no reason to make a comment that suggests that she was actually being insulting to people that had kids. It wasn't just one video. She makes multiple videos about how great life is if you don't have kids. If I was making videos with my kids saying about how great life is if you just, stop being a loser and get married, people would come after you because people hate the traditional lifestyle on display.
Wait, but that's literally what you guys say. Get married, have kids. That's the only way to go. Otherwise, you're a loser.
No, we do not. You're just making up words that have
so
never
then maybe
come
that's
out
not
of
the
my
case.
mouth.
So wait, so if somebody said, if there was a young woman and she was like, I'm 20, I think I'm going to go to a career and be a whatever. I don't think I want to have a family. I don't think life's for me. You would say, okay, well, that's fine. You should make that choice.
No, I would say that's completely normal at 20 years old. That's
So then they should change their opinion later on. What if she was 25 or 30 and she's like, no, I don't think I want to have kids? Would you be, okay, that's fine?
If she was a 20-year-old person and she was saying that I don't think that I want to have kids, then what I would say is that's pretty typical because you're 20 years old and you haven't yet had the biology thing happen to you, which like when they say that your biological clock starts ticking, it's very real. When you get into your mid-20s, you have a totally different feeling.
So if a woman is 25 or 30 and says, I don't think I want to have kids, I think I like my career, I'm going to stick with it, you'd say, okay, that's fine. It's your choice.
Yeah, as long as that person isn't trying to, and by the way, I think that person would probably be, it would be unusual. Like it wouldn't be, the majority of women I think do want to have families and want to aspire to family, and that's fine. But when you try to create a brand of it and you say things like, oh, well, if you have kids, then you can't just smoke pot and stay in bed and be naked all day. This is actually something that like Seth Rogen just said.
Okay.
What you're doing
Sounds
there is
awesome.
you're actually trying to, you're 30, how old are you? You're 35 years old.
Yep.
Okay, so what is that? What do I do? Like if you were 20 and you were saying this stuff,
I travel the world. I get to research and talk about whatever I want. I get to talk to cool people like you and other people. I live in Miami in a high rise for $5,000 a month. I mean, I think my life is pretty okay. I mean,
but I'm saying like, what are you doing when you're trying to sell to people that being a hoe is cool, smoking pot, saying
I don't necessarily think that being a hoe is cool.
Are you going to age out of that?
Because
you're a 35-year-old man, right?
and
you're kind of doing the like, I'm a college dorm kid and I'm trying to make everything sound cool. But I just want to point out the fact that you're a 35-year-old man and your words should matter and they should have weight. Like I said, if you were 20, I'd be like, I get it. When you're 35. Say things with conviction. Say things that have meaning.
Plenty of things with conviction, yes.
And
like when I asked you, what would you recommend to a woman at 25 and 30? I didn't just start rambling about what a 20-year-old should do and how biologically blah, 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 blah. I would say exactly what I would tell a woman at 25 or 30.
Yeah, I know, but your behavior, and I will appreciate that people that are younger won't understand what I'm saying until you hit 35, which is, I'm going to be 35 this year.
Okay.
You're acting like you're a college dorm kid.
Yeah, and your catty insults towards people online make you seem like a high school mean girl.
Okay.
I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, we all have our things.
But you're selling to them things that you know aren't good. So
what do you think I'm selling to them?
If you were a 25-year-old,
like
when I'm on the whatever podcast and I'm surrounded by women that are in their 20s and they're saying like, the whole life is good. The reason why I said to that girl that I'm going to pray for you is because I know that she's going to have a different perspective when she's older. So I'm not upset by that. I don't feel like that needs to be attacked when those young girls are around me and we're talking about all of these topics. When I'm sitting with a 35-year-old man, okay, and
what do you think I'm selling people?
And you know better, okay?
Wait, what do you think I'm selling people?
Well,
do you think I'm telling people to be a hoe?
What I said when you were defending the lifestyle of being a hoe, why are you doing that?
I don't think I defend the lifestyle of being a hoe.
You did a whole video basically saying that none of my points of me trying to tell these women that they essentially, you can do something better. You don't have to sell your body. This was your like snazzy video. Come back to it. Why are you making a comeback? Yes, you can make a video and be like, why can't someone do hair? But why would you as a 35-year-old man want to sell something to someone or make it seem okay or cool or relevant when you know it's harmful to them? I don't get that because of your age.
Candace Owens just slammed Destiny here, pointing out that shaming women doesn't magically fix their lives isn't the same as endorsing their choices. Destiny isn't out here running a recruitment drive. He's saying that berating people doesn't help.
Yeah, so I don't understand. I don't know what your takeaway from the video was, or if there are researchers that give you like talking points to my videos. But generally what I talk about is when it comes to lifestyle, you have to analyze both sides of things. If you grow up incredibly religiously conservative and you are like shamed out of sex and you don't have sex with anybody your whole life because you're super, hyper cognizant of your virginity and all of these like weird things, and that's like coming from an unhealthy external place, to say, oh, well, maybe that's worth exploring. On the flip side, if you grow up like hyper liberal and you've like 20 guys by the time you're 20 years old and you just want to bang everybody and you've got like weird associations with men and everything, I'd say, hey, you should probably slow down. It's probably not healthy. I just encourage people to like explore honestly, to have like conversations with themselves, with their parents, could be with priests, could be with therapists, could be whatever, and to kind of figure out like what works for them and don't get pushed into one direction from a culture side. It could be the left encouraging people to be way too promiscuous, or it could be the right for people that are shaming people for being promiscuous and saying that, well, this one lifestyle of family stuff is going to biologically be suited towards you as you get older. I think both of these are equally stupid because it just pushes people in the other direction.
So you don't believe in anything? Is what you're saying.
Is that what you got from that?
Well, you're not committing to anything.
I believe in actually thinking for yourself. That's what I think. I think that every human being roughly exists in this like paradigm where if you're 100 people by the time you're 20, probably not healthy. If you've never had sex before and you're 30, probably not healthy. And that you should probably like try to gravitate towards what are like human norms, and then what are things that make you happy, depending on your culture, depending on your geography. And then you kind of like explore in there. And don't be shamed out of exploring from one side to the other. Don't be pushed into something because somebody like Candace Owens or somebody like Stephen Bonnell tells you that you have to do a particular thing, but just like kind of explore.
I don't
and figure
tell
out
people
things.
that they have to do a particular thing, but if I see somebody that's doing heroin, I'm not going to be like, it is whatever, and it's just like whatever. You're just
do you think that heroin is comparable to recreational sex?
I am. Quite frankly, I actually think a woman, as the one that I sat across from when you were critiquing this video, who says that she slept with up to, 20 men per night. Yeah, it's just as bad. And I know that has to be hurting her soul. So I look at her as a human being.
Hurting her soul? What if she just has a different lifestyle than you?
Doesn't.
Completely.
She does. No, what do you mean? She's telling you, she was very honest actually. And that's why I appreciate her, because she was very honest that for her, it is just about money. Okay. But when I see that individual, when a young woman is saying that she'll sleep and see up to 10 to 20 clients per night, that's a broken individual. And it's just as when you see somebody who says that, they're doing heroin or doing this, they don't need the cool guy at the party to be like, yeah, man, it's whatever. Like, it's like, no, you actually like structure. You need somebody to say to you, you don't have to do this. There's so much better potential within you. You are young. You have your entire life ahead of you. Let's figure out what it is that you're great at. I understand the economic concerns. It's a really tough economy and it's easy money, but there's other things that you can do to make money that will give you better self-value. And so that's why I say that I think that what you're doing as a 35-year-old man is you're lying. You're just lying to
Do you think
people.
I'm telling women on average that guys
when you make videos
idea?
And you're replying to conservatives who are rightfully saying that this lifestyle is not good, which should be abundantly clear to every single person, what you're trying to do is lie in a clever way. And ultimately, like I said, if you were 20, I'd be fine with it. But when
first of all, I don't know why if I was 20, why that would make you fine with it.
Because
you'd have the same influence in your audience regardless.
Because your brain's not developed when you're 20.
Number two, so what? Your brain's always developing as you grow.
No.
Destiny is out here trying to debate neuroscience now. Candace Owens is spot on. There's a reason people don't take advice from 20-year-olds. The brain development argument isn't just some random thing she made up, but of course Destiny has to make it some weird, actually moment just to avoid admitting that, yes, people grow up and realize dumb decisions are dumb.
Your brain develops when you're 25, 26 years old. And so when you see a 20-year-old and they have a bunch of positions, I don't hold them to it. I
don't think that's with brain development. I think that's with life experience. I think as you grow older,
but like literally factually, I know if you want to Google this, but your brain develops when you're 25, 26.
If you really want to Google it factually, the 25 number came from one study that was done like 30 years ago where they only measured brain development up to 25. And the reality is the plasticity of your brain and every other structure of your brain continues to grow into your 30s. That's technically where that number comes from. It's not true. You can look it up later if you want. The 25, 26 thing is a misnomer. It's not actually true.
Well, like I said, if you were 20, sure. I would accept, but there is such a thing as objective truth. And people that shirk and pretend that there's not, and like
objective
everybody can just do whatever they want.
Live your life?
It's about things that are harmful to people. Like objectively speaking.
So I'm curious. Wait, what is the upper bounds on recreational sex that you think is harmful or not harmful?
When you're selling your body and sleeping with old.
I'm not asking that. I'm just saying, what is the upper bounds on recreational sex that you think is like healthy for a human being? If you go past this, you're like clearly over the line.
I'm not gonna say to a person, this is a number that you should sleep with, and this makes you bad.
Don't accuse me of believing in nothing. I'm not saying out of a position where you only attack the most extreme people.
I'm specifically talking about the whatever podcast.
I'm going to attack the same people that you do. If some woman is on saying like, oh, you 20 guys a night and do only because you're 18. I'm gonna say in general that's a pretty wacky, that's a pretty out there position. I argue with tons of people over this. I don't encourage people to start.
But what are you trying to do? What purpose are you trying to fulfill when you as a 35-year-old man see me sitting down with these young women trying to say you don't need to do this, you don't have to do this for money, and you like attack it and try to be like, Candace is just a bitch, or like whatever, like she's blah 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 blah, she's just being a high school mean girl. It's like, no, I am trying to tell these women that they are worth more. And when I said to that girl at the end of it, which I don't believe you showed, that I will pray for you and that you can do much more than this, that came from the heart, actually.
No, that is the most condescending thing a religious person could say to a non-religious person. I will pray for you.
Okay, you can deal with your...
Is Destiny getting triggered over someone saying they'll pray for someone? Imagine being this fragile. Candace Owens literally showed her concern for someone stuck in a self-destructive lifestyle, and Destiny somehow spins it into a power move. Dude, not everything is a debate strategy. Sometimes people just actually care. But nah, this guy has to make it sound like a 4D chess match.
You know, I know that you went to a Jesuit school and you've got some issues with somebody.
Why do you think I have issues?
But I meant that because...
I loved my high school. I think it's fine.
Because for me to say, like, I meant what I said to her, that I would pray for her. Like, when she was describing
why
her life,
she was very upfront. Why do you need to tell her that you'll pray for her?
Because I did pray for her.
Then do it privately. Why do you need to tell her that? You're only telling her that because you think you've got such a condescension about you. You've got such an air of superiority that you're going to pray for her.
Air of superiority? Because I said I would... God forbid someone says they'll pray. That's obviously an air of superiority because they're saying they're going to include you in their prayer.
Well, I mean, like, when you say God forbid, but like quite literally, God forbid. Isn't there a whole story of a lady going to a temple and quietly putting like 2 per-cents or whatever the
weird
tray
anti-Christian rhetoric?
What is anti-Christian about this?
If you say I'll pray for you, it's obviously you trying to be better. It's like, no, why are you even reacting to that? I'll pray for you. I'll pray for everybody that listens and watches this show. When people say that they're going to pray for you, they actually mean it, you guys. They just mean it. There's no double entendre thing going on there, and anybody that can go back and watch that clip, you will see that I was not speaking above her. I actually genuinely responded to that girl because she was so honest and she was so forthcoming. I thought I actually wanted to do more stuff with her, and we tried to reach out with her because she wasn't trying to lie or trying to pretend like her lifestyle was for health. She was clear that it was for money, and she was like, I'm not going to lie, this is why I do this. And I genuinely prayed for her. Actually, we were not enemies that were sitting across the table. So no, it was not condescending when I said I pray for you. It was a fact. When I left, I said, I will keep you in my prayers because I have in my heart, I want to see that girl in 10 years and know that she left that field and she is able to speak to women that are still within it and think that they have to sell their bodies for money and sleep with 10 men per night. I am going to continue to pray for that young woman because we need people who transform their lives to then show people that they can transform their lives. And it's not condescending to pray for anybody ever. So
okay, I will pray for you too then. Okay.
You should.
Okay.
I hope you pray for me. I want you to include me in your prayers. I want every person watching this to include. But I feel like our society has gotten so like anti-Christian. Like, oh my God, they're trying to be condescending. It's like, no, like I'll pray for you. I will literally pray for every single person that I think needs a prayer. And I felt like she needed a prayer. Like she could be there, you know?
Okay.
Destiny really exposed himself in this debate. Candace Owens came in with clear, logical arguments, and Destiny just did what he always does: dodge, deflect, and melt down the moment he's called out. The dude couldn't even handle a simple "I'll pray for you" without freaking out. At the end of the day, Candace Owens absolutely bodied him, and the fact that he got this defensive proves it.